3 years ago, I would have like not done it based on that alone. So welcome to day 16 of Vlogmas. If you don't know who I am, my name is Caitlin Duncan and I am a hybrid author, which means I publish both traditional and independent books. Here on my channel we talk about the writing process and all the bookish things. So if you are interested in that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it so you know the next time I upload. So we have a bit of catching up to do. I skipped yesterday with my vlogs because I was just so busy with work, so busy with life, and that is just sometimes what happens. So I had sort of a strategy meeting with two of my author friends, and they live in the UK, so the meeting was at 5 in the morning, and then I jumped on for sprints afterwards. So I had a fantastic strategy meeting. It literally changes the trajectory of 2022 and beyond when it comes to my author business. I'm quite terrified, but excited, more terrified, but I think this is a good step forward for me and how I want to position myself as an author and also entrepreneur. So I'm excited to sort of delve into that a little bit more. I do have to do a lot of research, but it also means I get to write another book, another nonfiction book. So I'm thrilled to do that. I found the nonfiction writing process so fun to do. I love sort of talking through like my own voice versus, you know, characters and whatnot. Like it's just different and I really enjoy it, and I'm glad that that's sort of part of my next step. One of my regrets is that my fiction will probably have to take a little backseat for a little bit. Which is a little scary, but I think it's for the best overall. I think for the financial health of my business, I think the nonfiction is where to go right now. So that was fun. I didn't get much work done on my book, Soul Possessed, because I was still reeling from this conversation. I was so excited about everything. And then I was talking to my friend Katie, who I sprint with twice a week, and we were just talking about life and publishing and things like that. And it was just one of those days that conversation took hold versus, you know, what we were supposed to be doing. But that's totally fine. That doesn't happen very often. I'm usually pretty much, you know, on point with everything, but this time I just let it happen. And because of that conversation from yesterday, I really wasn't so like excited to write my book this morning, to edit my book, and I have a lot of thoughts about that. So let's dive in. So I wanted to have a little bit of a conversation about what has been bothering me most about this book. Now, earlier this year, I talked all about, I took a course about fast drafting and skeleton drafting, and I don't know why I do this to myself. I know some authors do, but a lot of authors don't. Like, once you find your process, like, you just stick with it. But for me, I'm always like, oh, is there any way I can improve, blah, 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 blah. And since I don't enjoy the drafting process as much as I enjoy editing and outlining, I thought this would help. Fast drafting, it has not helped at all. Really, this draft that I'm currently working on feels very much like instead of a draft 0, it's like 0.5. Like, I don't feel good about this draft, and I think I just need to like stop doing this. I need to stop trying to change my process. Like, I tend to write very thin first drafts, like there's missing descriptions and things like that, but it's not missing like the core story. And as I've been going through this book, it's really missing its core story, and there's a whole subplot that's missing, and I know I have to go back in and fix that. So with the prospect of doing this next nonfiction book, I was really like, ugh, I don't want to work on this book anymore. I don't want to finish it. I just want to like let it go, and then when I have time I'll go back to it. But a friend of mine, Sasha, she's like, you're 3 chapters from the end. Just get it done. Get it done so that you, in the future, when you come back to it, you have like a better draft to come back to. It's not incomplete. Sure, it needs a subplot, but those are things that I'm like used to fixing in like my first self-edit. And where I thought this was a first self-edit, where I sort of felt comfortable calling it a draft 1, now I don't, because it's like, oh, now I'm back to where I normally would have been if I just stuck with my process. And it's frustrating, but it's really nothing I can do about it. So moving forward, I'm just gonna stick with my process. I mean, I wrote 13 books with HQ Digital with a specific process, and that seemed to work okay. I'll go down here. And that seemed to work okay, so I don't know why I thought I needed to change my process. So that's sort of my thoughts about that, and I do have 1 chapter left, so I know I'll definitely be able to finish that tomorrow. I may even try to finish it tonight, to be honest, and then tomorrow start with like, I don't actually know what I want to start with, whether it's going to be more of like an organization of my thoughts about the nonfiction book, and then maybe like creating a plan about research and stuff like that. And then next week we'll be like fully diving into goal setting for 2022, actual projects I want to get done. But yeah, so this book is probably not going to come out when I wanted it to. The nonfiction book will have to come first, sort of, because that is builds into something. Sorry. Dog hair. So yeah, we shall see. I'm kind of bummed about it, but you know, you live and you learn, and I just know moving forward, like, I need to stop changing things that work. You know, if I came into a specific problem, yes, I will go search for a solution, but I had no problem. Like, I just wanted to try something new and it didn't work, and I feel like I wasted some time, and I won't do it again. But anyway, I missed the advent calendar opening yesterday, so I will do both yesterday and today right now. For the 15th, we have Kevin and his chili pot. That's so funny. Not much hair up there. Oh, it's so awesome. I love that. So many details. And I cackled out loud when I saw Prison Mike. This bandana. I am dead. That is so funny. Hello again. It's a bit later in the day. I figured I'd give you a quick check-in as I did something author-y related. So I took part in a podcast interview that should be going live probably February 2022. It's a program that I am taking part of as an expert author, so to say. I feel really excited to be on this panel and this part of this group, so excited for the podcast interview to go live. It was a lot of fun. We did sort of cover the gamut of all the things that I am doing. When it's listed out though in front of me, I'm like, oh yeah, I am doing a lot of things. So we talked about YouTube a little bit, and sort of like reasons for doing it and how it's like sort of helped me out, and I just figured I would mention something specific because I thought it was interesting that where I didn't have a lot of confidence earlier on in my AuthorTube time. I feel like the best thing that this channel has done for me is given me a lot of confidence. Earlier on, I very much so stuck to scripts, and while some of my videos are scripted because I literally have no memory, and I usually use them more for like reminders of what I want to say, and because some videos I do put a lot of research in and thought in prior to turning on the camera, that I, you know, will usually use that as a guide. But like an interview like this, so normally the interviews that I have done have been like with the questions given to me ahead of time, and sort of we go in order of the questions, and I feel like I have more time to prepare and more time to gather my thoughts. But this one was the most unscripted in a sense. Like, I was given some questions ahead of time, but it was more of, yeah, these are some things we might discuss, but just be ready for anything type of thing. And 3 years ago, I would have like not done it based on that alone. I wouldn't have had enough confidence. I wouldn't have had as much thinking time ahead of time as I would have liked. I mean, granted, this was with a friend of mine, so that was a little easier, but still, when like you're having a conversation with a friend versus having a conversation on your friend's podcast, it's a little bit different. You know, you have to present yourself a certain way, and I present myself a certain way for interviews and everything than I do, you know, sort of sitting at 5 o'clock in the morning in my pajamas during a sprint. So that was just an interesting part of the conversation. I mean, most of the conversation was great. I got to talk about my books and sort of, you know, how I'm doing and how I work through my process. It was a nice conversation about process, because I think process and productivity. So that was just a fun interview, and yeah, the day's been going as the day's been going, just normal stuff for work. I'm feeling a bit tired, even though I got a ton of sleep last night. Oh, update, because, you know, if you're following from the beginning of Vlogmas, where I was like all about my sleep score with my Fitbit, they finally shipped out another one. That I'm really happy to start up with that again, because I was like semi-addicted to my sleep score. But last night I actually passed out super early at like 8:30. I was just drained from the day, so I got a ton of sleep, but I'm starting to hit that funk in the middle of the day. So I'm gonna have a snack, something small, just to like jumpstart my energy a little bit. There's a few things that I'm very excited for the end of this Vlogmas. It sort of has to do with my advent calendar, and I'm really excited because I was looking for like storage solutions for these little characters, and when I was looking for storage solutions, I found something even better. that'll be coming at some point by the end of Vlogmas. I promise. I guess unless it doesn't work out, and then I don't promise. But I really hope it works out because I'm so excited. And I think I'm gonna leave that shelf specifically open for all of these because of just the thing that I am going to be storing them in is a little big. Takes up a little bit of space. So I'm so excited for that. So we shall see, and I'll check in with you soon.